A new DLC often means that the meta is shifting, and Renegades is no different. Today, we will be damage testing supers, specifically Hunter supers. I am not doing the other classes, at least for now, because I really don't play them. Before we jump into the damage testing, let's set some ground rules and expectations. I am not testing the prismatic versions of the supers, as the only supers that get a buff while on that subclass are Golden Gun and Storm's Edge, and they only get buffed by 10%. We are also testing in the normal version of the shooting range, so everything is at power. We're not using any weakens either, and we have under 100 super, so these are raw damage values. Finally, just because something has higher damage does not mean it is fundamentally better. While the damage is important, the time it takes to deal that damage and the neutral game of the subclass is equally as important. Now that's out of the way, let's begin, and at the end we'll place everything from best to worst damage. Starting with Arc, we have Gathering Storm with Star Eaters, which gives us 12,591 damage. You'll soon find that this is pretty low, but what it does have going for it is that you can do your normal damage rotation while the super is doing its own thing. Next up, we have Storm's Edge, again with Star Eaters. It deals 16,042 damage, so not that much better really, but where it shines is a singular boss that has multiple models for you to damage, like the Servitor boss from Vesper's Host or the Shriekers from Sundered Doctrine. You can hit each model for separate damage, making it perfect for that type of scenario. Then we have Arc Staff, with both Star Eaters and Raiden Flux. Star Eaters gives us a weak 15,446 damage, which takes a lot longer than Storm's Edge. Raiden Flux does pull its weight though. A quick refresher on the exotic, hits grant a stack and super damage buff, as well as reduces the super drain, allowing you to do more damage. With that, this gives us 24,282 damage. Also, a tip for Arc Staff, hold W and then do 2 light and 1 heavy on repeat. That is the best combo for damage, and for some reason, holding W allows you to attack faster. On to Void, and this one is a little harder to test because of the new changes to Mobius Quiver. Basically, activate the super and then deal damage to charge a bar, which supercharges your next Mobius shot once full. This also buffs your bow weapons while your super is still going. In my shooting range, it takes 1 × 20 parasite shot to charge the bar, which is 8,407 damage, and I've included a 30% weaken in that as well. The damage values I'm going to show you now will have that parasite shot subtracted, just to make it a bit more fair. With Star Eaters, Mobius Quiver deals 17,124 damage. With Orpheus Riggs, Mobius Quiver deals 17,522 damage. They are very close, but I will recommend Orpheus Riggs over Star Eaters, as it allows you to have a longer duration of the weaken, and it also gives you a longer time to make use of the buff to bows. Moving to Solar, we're going to start with the good old Celestial Nighthawk with Golden Gun Marksman. Our shot, with Radiant active, deals 15,044 damage with identical DPS. Testing the Star Eater version, and we actually get more damage, coming in at 15,659 damage, though the DPS is obviously less because we are shooting 3 shots instead of 1. For fun, I tested Golden Gun Deadshot, the Golden Gun that cannot crit, and with Star Eaters it gives us 10,440 damage with a pretty funny DPS value of 6,453. Back to serious testing, and there's Blade Barrage, which now deals 39% more damage. With Star Eaters, it deals 17,815 damage for a very big DPS value of 15,150. Honestly, I'm pretty impressed that it's got better damage than Golden Gun. With the light supers out of the way, it's time to join the dark side. Silk Strike with Star Eaters gives us a nice 20,895 damage, and because it's a roaming super, you can get it back pretty quickly with a typical mint and finality rotation. Certain bosses also take more super damage, like the Wyvern from the Desert Perpetual raid, so that is where spamming this super will shine. The final super we are testing is Silence and Scroll with Whisper of Fishes. We're testing this because it got buffed pretty heavily by 63%, but unfortunately it still comes out at a low 12,641 damage with the worst DPS value we've had, which is 722. So those are all the supers we are testing. To help you visualize how everything stands next to each other, here are all the supers and the damage in order of best to worst. Remember though, just because something has higher damage does not make it better. There is a reason you don't see people running Raiden Flux for boss damage. Super damage is important, but you do most of your damage, at least in most cases, with your weapons, so you need to think of the overall picture. Hopefully this video is of benefit to you. Apologies for not covering Titan and Warlock. I pretty much exclusively main Hunter, so I don't believe I can do them justice, at least at the moment. As always, thank you for watching, have a great day.